Hello, Columbia Association of Regenerative Livestock. I'm Joel Salatin from Polyface Farm here in Swope, Virginia in the U.S. And I'm greeting you and congratulating you on this trajectory and this interest in regenerating land and soils using livestock. You know, livestock has gotten kind of a bad rap recently, as if, you know, they're going to destroy the climate and all this. And what's true is that there is a lot of livestock damage. Let's all agree with that in traditional production standards. But when you put them out on perennial grasses, perennial forages, and duplicate what large herbivores have done over time, which is movement, mowing, and mobbing, moving, mowing, and mobbing. When you duplicate what we see in these large herbivores in nature, all of the negatives that are associated with cattle become assets. And so their grazing becomes pruning to freshen up and regenerate the forage. Their trampling doesn't become impaction, it becomes a chipping up of the lignified carbon to let earthworms get a hold of it. You know, so lots of cool things happen. You know, they're moving around. The fact that they're inefficient means that their manure and urine actually replenishes the earth and grows more forage, more biomass, more solar energy collected into biomass. So all the liabilities become assets when we move to a moving, mobbing, mowing paradigm with our livestock. Here at Polyface Farm, we don't just run cattle, we run cows and pigs and sheep and chickens, both eggs and meat, turkeys, ducks, all sorts of things. Why all the variety? Well, because nature has a lot of variety. If you look at ecology, it's full of different kinds of plants and animals occupying different areas, and they work symbiotically and synergistically. Complex relationships. All that ecologically. So when we transfer that to a commercial farm, we're also interested in that kind of diversity of different animals on the farm itself. And so, we follow the cows with the chickens, like the egret on the rhino's nose, right? And the chickens scratch through the cow patties, eat out the fly larvae, and scatter the patties into a bigger, fertility zone. And so there's a symbiotic between the chickens and the cows, and the eggs, of course, are free, or they're just part of the cream from having the chickens do that work. We use pigs for large-scale composting. Our fertility program is composting, and we use wood chips and manure are the two main ingredients, and we stir it with pigs, not great big machines that you can't afford to buy and have to run. We actually put corn in it. The corn ferments in these bedding packs, and then the pigs come in and pigorate, aerate, and turn it into aerobic compost. And so animals do the work, and so there is a huge symbiotic relationship between this pasture choreography, this what I call ballet in the pasture, as all these different animals move through at different times, and then you stack the enterprises on a given land base. So here come the cows, here come the eggmobiles, here come the broilers, here come the turkeys, and you add all those up, and suddenly your income jumps to $10,000 and $12,000 and $13,000 an acre, because you're stacking additional enterprises on those same acreages. They're not all on the same square foot or the same square meter at exactly the same moment, but they do come at different times, different days to occupy that meter. That increases your viability of income per acre. So one of the big questions with regenerative agriculture, and of course livestock in general, is the role of the consumer. Does the consumer play any direct aspect to how land is treated? The answer couldn't be more obvious. Of course the consumer does. Farmers have always raised things for the market. What the market dictates, farmers tend to do. And so as farmers, we need to get our message out that this is not just more pounds of stuff and more undifferentiated, homogeneous material that we're raising, that we're actually raising things that build soil, that create, a commons of abundance for our grandchildren. That's the kind of messaging we need, and that is nutritionally superior to, for example, feedlot cattle, grain-fed cattle, and things like that. Herbivores aren't supposed to eat grains. And one of the cool nuances right now is, as we all know about the microbiome, the whole key to the microbiome health is diversity. Lots of different things going into it. Well, one of the quickest and easiest ways to get more diversity into the microbiome is to actually eat grass-finished beef, because it's eating the clovers, the grasses, the forbs, the weeds, all the different things, which all bring different vitamins and minerals and enzymes into the muscle tissue that we then can eat with our eggs and chicken and beef and all that. When it's on a diversified pasture situation, all of these differences are amalgamating into the meat or the eggs. We get to eat them, and then our microbiome gets the benefit of all of this salad bar diversity in our pastures. And so if there's a quick, efficient way to really feed that microbiome, it's with pastured animals. And so that's part of the messaging that we as farmers need to use with the consumer end to help them understand that they do this not only for the ecology, but they do this for their own health.